Evidently not. Nobody's watching Emancipation. They pulled it out of the theaters. They put it on Apple TV. I think it's on like maybe might be on Amazon or something. But yeah, they pulled that thing out of the theaters. They pulled it. And the thing about it is people are tired of hearing these same old slave tales, these old fictitious, tired, I'm traumatized, I'm abused slave tales. Like, people are over that. They're not trying to hear that anymore.
So what do you think they're trying to hear?
I think people are trying to hear the truth, even if they don't recognize it half the time. I think people are trying to hear and see the truth, even though a lot of times we're not paying attention when the truth is right in front of our faces. They want the truth. And when they are able to take the time to really analyze and look at things clearly, they see that a lot of things that are being presented to them, us today, are completely fictitious. People are getting hip to that. They're getting hip to that fact. So, I mean, that, and Halito, Keith, people are getting hip to that fact and they're over it. They don't want anybody lying to them anymore. They want some truth and justice in this piece. And I hope more people start feeling like that, because that, when I heard the Emancipation was out of the theaters and they were putting it on, I saw it come on my screen at Apple TV or all that. And I was like, maybe they're offering some options for it, but they're trying to push it. But I mean, these whole slave story narratives aren't really working. I mean, especially the more people that become exposed to truth, the
Right.
more people that become exposed to truth, you're going to start saying, wait a minute now.
Right.
Some of this slavery, this whole story, none of this stuff they told us really makes sense.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of people waking up to that, myself. Met a young lady today
Hmm.
and she was like, "Well, how are we not Africans?" And I
Right.
said, "Ask your mother." She said, "My mother's dead." She said, "But I have my grandmother."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Even better.
huh? And I'm to the point now, you can't be nice no more, baby. You got to
Right.
think. So she said she had 5 sons,
Hmm.
and
Wow.
I'm like, what?
5 sons that
You got
don't know nothing. Lord
so,
Jesus.
you know. So I took your advice.
What was that?
I checked out. I checked out a movie
Ooh, which
called
one was that?
Sounder.
Well, let me say that I did not recommend it. I was just like, it's very depressing, and it's that slavery energy kind of thing. So, because yeah,
Yeah.
no. But you watch
Yeah.
Sounder? Oh gosh,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
watched it?
Yeah. Yeah. That. I. Oh, could you? I bet in those people in the movie, that part of the movie is one of their least favorite movies because it was a horrible movie. But
Mm-hmm.
they had a couple of things in there that was pretty cool. And I think when you say people are just tired of hearing the lies,
Mm-hmm.
when you start looking at those people back there, check out their connection to the land. They had these swaths of land. Had a little old tin shack on what, 5, 6 acres? Even though they were sharecropping, eventually as a move, those people gained control of that land. That land is still down there in all these places today. But our focus has been taken off of that and put elsewhere in the Middle East, in Africa, all kind of dumb shit, you know? And it takes the mind off, or takes whatever they're thinking off what is theirs. That makes sense?
Really does. And then the whole thing about is that the whole crazy thing is that we were sharecropping our own land. Like that's crazy. And it shows you how quickly, like we talked about yesterday, how things are changed so quickly in 30-year increments that so quickly you forget what existed. You forget who was here, who was there, what happened, it's so fast that these changes transpire, you know, the fact that, I got people around me predominating me and that are from other countries who they don't know me. They were not in high school with me. We don't have the same background. Like they are not me, but they're here acting like they are all American and I'm a stranger. I'm a weirdo. And I'm the weird strange one. But when I was in high school, you weren't even here. Okay. I don't know where you were and what you were doing, but you were not in this country.
Right.
And it's really, really, I find it very infuriating to have people treat you like an outsider in your own homeland. And I think more people are starting to resonate with that. Like, no, I don't like this feeling. Like, people are coming in acting like they don't have to even like look at you. They look past you. They don't even speak to you with any kind of like, decency. That kind of thing that's going on with people that have just immigrated to this homeland that is ours. And then you got all these overseers trying to make you a foreigner, constantly trying to make, oh, emancipation. Yeah, you was a slave. That's all. We never learned. And then you got reparations groups trying to make it like, oh yeah, we weren't allowed to read and we could lies. They're perpetrating lies as if reparations is based on you being the most downtrodden, daggone, entity on the planet. Like you got to be completely devastated and demolished to receive reparations from this United States corporation. Are you kidding me? They're not giving you nothing, no how.
Right.
So why are you trying to denigrate your ancestors by acting like, oh yeah, well they never really had any kind of jobs. They didn't have any kind of skills really. They were all mostly unskilled. I can show you a damn website that talks about that. It's really crazy. But anyway, that's what they do. That's what they're doing. And I don't know what that was. But what we need to really beware of these overseers. These black overseers are problematic. They are horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, they are the
And
real deal problem in this piece, like for real.
and here's an example of how they use a lot of our energy against ourselves, because a lot of these overseers, they aren't Americans. They are those people who came from the other side of the earth too.
Right.
They're those people who showed these people how to get here.
Right.
And many of us, and they're females too. It's on both sides. They play the man and woman like the side of, like a coin.
Mm-hmm. That's
We
right.
better start understanding it and really start asking people like, who are you? Who you are? Who are you? Where do
Right.
people from?
Right.
Where people cross paths? You're really going to have to start asking questions, that because if a guy comes in a nice tie, women are throwing their panties at him because he got the money. And history have shown us that shit don't work. All you can do, and all that those who have done that and those who want to do it, all you're going to do is give it away so you can have some other cheap shit that they made. There's houses full of junk that we have bought other people's stuff and hadn't started to build our empire yet. That's fucking embarrassing. So We got to start looking at things in our, our way. Education, health, wellness, uh, uh, making sure everything seriously, because we're consuming the world's goods, and the world is coming over here stomping us in the face while we munching. It's not a good look.
Mm-hmm. So I had a situation I had to deal with today, which I'm not going to talk about right yet, but I also was like, I don't know how I started. I just ran across somebody talking about William Ellison, right? William Ellison, the black slave owner breeder of South Carolina, the richest, black slave owner, blah blah blah, of South Carolina. Now let me scroll down, scrolling. Okay, he was a light skin. Now I don't know how they really know. I guess they have a picture of him. Who knows? I don't believe anything. But anyway,
Can you blow the screen up a little bit?
let me see what I can do. Hold on. Let's see if that helps you. Is
Hey,
that
you guys,
helpful?
if you push the three dots up there in the right
Yeah,
hand corner
I
under the.
did. I did. I don't know if it did it help because I got it fully blown up.
Okay, well, that's cool. So go
It's
ahead.
150. I'm gonna go to 175, 185. Let me see.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's real cool. All right.
Okay. Let me see if I get a little more, maybe. All right. Okay. So the story of the black slave owner and overseer in South Carolina. Now he was light-skinned black man who was a product of his white slave owner and enslaved black female. Which okay, I don't know. This
No, listen.
why they gotta make him a white man? Gotta be in the story. Like he don't have to be in the story. And see, this is what it is. These black supremacists who wanna fall in line with the white supremacist story, they make it fit. You know, they trying to make it fit. Like a Rubik's. I don't know what they trying to do. Like make it make sense. They gonna force it. Square peg, round hole. They gonna force it in there. Okay.
That's right.
He was the U.S. cotton gin maker and a blacksmith and but no, this is what they got to add. Former African. Okay, first of all, he got to be African American slave. He an
In,
African American slave.
in 1790.
Born in 1790 in South Carolina, where you got folks that are down by law claiming they from Africa. I'm a Gullah, and I know I'm from Ghana. What the fuck? They are claiming like they want to slap you. I saw a girl doing a TikTok talking about, I'm so tired of these people trying to appropriate the Native American culture because I know that I am Gullah and I am African and I know what I am. And yeah, I'm not trying to appropriate anything take anything from the Native American people, and you need to stop it. It's hurtful to them. This sister was sitting up there with her daggone almond shaped eyes, looking nothing like a daggone Nigerian guy. Anyone from guy. Where they saying they from? I don't care. But anyway, basically, she is definitely indigenous. Talking about she's sad because people are trying to say that they're native and they're appropriating someone else's culture. She knows she's from Africa. Stay away from the Gullah, she said. We know who we are, where we're from. But bitch, sorry. Let me calm down. I forgot where I'm at. You got the richest slaveholder being a Negro, being an indigenous person, because trust and believe. You born in 1790. you're not gonna go from 1790 to be dying in 1861 and becoming the richest slaveholder with all these different other skills, gin making, and what else he was doing a lot of stuff, gin making, blacksmith. So he had like 3 different careers and was a slave breeder. Wait a minute. He was a blacksmith, a mechanist, a machinist, a carpenter, reading, writing. Okay, what? How are they doing this? How are they saying this? That he did, that in 1802, he began an exceptional 14-year apprenticeship along with local gin maker. No, along with his local cotton gin maker, along with his damn daddy, who was not white. While slaves sometimes acquired skills, they typically remained unskilled all their lives. That's a lie. Why do they lie like that? Why do black supremacists want to be struggle? They want to struggle and be downtrodden, and they feel like that makes them more acceptable and real.
That's what a slave does.
They want to fit the criteria. Oh, they typically remain unskilled. Even if you are farming, you are skilled, niggas. Okay, you're stupid. Okay, farming, everybody can't farm. You will kill a plant. Okay, everybody. It is skilled labor. It ain't like your daggone, I don't know, folding envelope. I don't know. It is a skill. Okay.
Folding envelope.
So I don't know. I'm just
saying. You gotta know what you're doing out there, and when you producing.
Yes, when you're actually nurturing plants and knowing the weather and knowing how far to put the seeds in and knowing how, weeding and all that, and what to tilling and this and that, what the soil content needs to be if it's going to be right, what you got to add to it, all that kind of stuff. I mean, come on now. You
look at the.
Wait a minute, y'all. Come on. Let's just read the list of what this man they just found. They probably ain't even telling all the stuff he could do. He probably like, I'm a painter, I'm a sculptor. You know what I mean? Like if he's listening to the conversation, he'd be like, yo, Lisa, there's other stuff I was doing. I mean, he would probably interject. But I'm sure they're saying the craft of gin making, he knew that. He also required the skills of being a blacksmith, a machinist, a carpenter. Now, just a blacksmith and a carpenter is a lot. But then you're also reading, writing, and okay, so that means the brother spent time in school. So when was he a slave? When in all this, all these skills, was he a slave? When was he working free for what? During his let's stop you. April visited outlying plantations and did repair work there. During his free time, he worked for wages. His free time of not being a slave, he got paid. Is that how that works? Oh yeah, nigga. Yeah, I know I paid like $500 for you, but in your free time, you're gonna go over here. Oh, just do what you want on your free time. I don't care. Make money, slave. They're gonna say 1860 he purchased his freedom. Oh, they added that.
So these are the stories that are fed.
And then they said in just a year's time, he purchased the freedom of his loved ones. Now, y'all know how ludicrous this is because he was born in 1806. By the time he was 16, by the time he was 14, he purchased his own freedom. How are you going to earn that much money? Somebody as skilled as he would cost over $1,000. All them skills? You gonna purchase your freedom by 14? No, they ain't gonna let go of you, nigga. If you're a slave with all them skills, why was he reading, writing, and arithmetic and he's a slave? None of this makes sense. And yet, Negroes write this today. These African Americans write this and expect you to read it and believe it. I'm sad and confused.
Well, why are you confused?
We got to stop believing these people and we got to call these mother suckers out. It is time up. Time up. Hashtag time up. Hashtag land back. Hashtag stop lying. Hashtag cease and desist. This stuff has to end. It has to end. You see how they doing? He purchased his loved ones. Y'all, okay, what was the price of a slave? A wife who was a cook or whatever would cost like $300 some, maybe $400. Okay, a kid would cost anywhere from another $100 for a kid or something like that. $100-$200 for a kid. What the world? So they're saying that somebody 14, he was 14 by 16, by 18, 17, he was only 15. 15, he purchased, he freed his love. Come on, that's how much they lie. And they look like idiots. Reading is fundamental. You must comprehend what you're reading. And baby, this no comprende.
And a lot of us read this stuff and then regurgitate it back on us like they know some knowledge. And you know how that sounds.
Okay, look, y'all. All these skills he got by the time he's 15, and they're going to sell him. They're going to let him buy his freedom. Like, oh, yeah, you're a worthless piece of trash. I'll let you buy yourself free. You go and work. I put all this training into you, and I'm just going to let you go free and make money. African. That's like you got yourself a nice whatever BMW or whatever. You got it all pimped out like you wanted, custom seats, Louis seats. I don't know, whatever the dumb people like to get. But anyway, you got it all pimped out the way you want it. Added all these extras to it. It's got a big screen, two big screens in the back. There goes sound system that's crazy and stuff. And then you're gonna say, you know what? I'm just gonna let this go in the parking lot. Here. The first person that comes along, I hand him the keys. That's what that's like. You invested all your time, money, got it just like you wanted, and you just said, oh, let me give it away to the first person that comes along. Just give it to them. Sure. Or, here, you want this card? Just give me what you think, what you got in your pocket. Whatever you think is. Because there is no way a 14-year-old who was put all those skills into him would be able to purchase his freedom and those of his loved ones at the age of 15. Okay? That's absurd. He was never a slave. But this is what the Boule, black supremacists, and white supremacists don't want you to know, that he was never a slave. The other thing they don't want you to know is to really get down in your genealogy. Because if you actually did, because this is what they also say. Let's continue on in this story, because they go on with the dumbness. Let's go on. Let's go with. He held 40 slaves at his death, more than 1,000 acres of land. From 1830 and 1865, he and his sons were the only free blacks in Sumter, South Carolina. Why did they say that? Why? Because they don't want you thinking that if he exists, who else was free? They don't want you to know that. They want that out of your head, because they want you thinking you're from Africa like the Gullah people do. I'm from Africa. They want everybody, all y'all African Americans, thinking you're from Africa, because that way they keep the land. Capiche? So
Capiche.
this thing is it. So this is the thing. Shaw Q, you do your genealogy, or Keith or whatever. You find out you got people from Sumter, and they was free. Now they were free. They had more slaves and more land than this dude, and that land is still your land. See, because we don't look and research, and we research with or we do our research with trying to fit in the lines of their lies, we never find out the truth, because we're trying to make what we do find out fit into their lies that they told us.
And it never works.
Well, it shouldn't work, because the fact that somebody actually authored this tall tale and put up a website and think it makes sense is embarrassing to me as a human being. This is let me go ahead and make sure you can see it. United Reparations Debt. Yeah, you trying to really tell a lie to get paid.
It's going to turn out bad, because the story's a joke. Like you just said, how you just broke that down. That whole slave story can be broken down with ease. So when
nobody should think this makes sense. No one. He's reading, writing, and arithmeticing, and they're gonna say he was a slave and bought himself free, and because they trying to make it work, right? Because the time he needed to have time to amass all this stuff. Well, how did he anyway? As a slave, even starting from a slave? No, he's coming from generations of people who had money. He ain't the first money man in his family, and his money man and the money people were not white either. They were Indians who had land and who always had land. And that's the story. I'm sorry, but you need to stop lying, okay? Because you cannot fit people into this. See, you want to get paid for being a slave because that's what they said. Then you wonder why won't they give us? But why? Because it's a lie. They made it up. They made it. It is greatly exaggerated what they told you.
You believe,
and you've been vastly misled. And the majority of them just got here in the change of the century in late 1800s, 1900s. That's when they came. And a bunch of these daggone black supremacists that are still here getting in the way and causing problems, they're the ones trying to keep you from finding out the truth. That's why they work so hard to put up websites like these to make you see. Joseph Patterson, you are a jerk. I'm going to search you out. You are a crazy lying idiot. And I'm going to search you out. Maybe you're slow. Maybe you've got health problems. I don't know. I don't care what. But there's no excuse for this kind of idiocracy. And people are referring kids to this as they're using this to do their book reports. They're going to places like this today, going present things in school. That's crazy. This makes no sense. We teach things, we take things in, and it makes no sense.
What about when you're trying to make sense out of it?
Then at the end they give his master credit. This master had passed on social capital by apprenticing him to learn a valuable artisan trade such as gin making, at which Ellison made a success. None of this makes sense. This entire explanation, just like they do with Anthony Johnson on the Eastern Shore. Every town, every county has a rich Negro. Many of them. You just don't know about them. But what they try to do is they try to they fluff it up for us, right? They fluff up the story. Oh yeah, Anthony Johnson was he was from Angola. Yeah, he was the richest person on Eastern Shore back in the 1600s. 1600s, you say? Yeah. He had a slave that took him to court. Slaves going to court? No, you're not supposed to really think about it. That these people are supposed to be just got here from Africa, 1619, and they going to court with each other in like 1660. No. No, sir. No. Somehow that's not making sense. Timeline doesn't work. First of all, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Even, guess what? If you really think about it, let's drum roll, blah, blah, blah. Okay. 1619 don't even work. Why? Because John Smith's folks, all them people in Jamestown was starving. The starving time was in the 1620s. They were starving. That's why they stole the ship. They was looking for something to survive off of. Instead, they found 20-odd Negroes that were on their way to daggone the West Indies to work. They were indentured servants. 1619 was right even before the starving time. They weren't even able to feed themselves. They were just eating corpses at the time of 1619. Them daggone Negroes from South America are lucky that they didn't eat them. Keith Cobbs, I don't trace your biological mother from Mississippi. Your mom? Oh, it's hard. Recent information is hard. It's going to be harder. It's just going to be because there's not the record. It's so recent. There's really not. They don't have they don't have records. They hadn't been doing the census, right? They just started back doing the census. So yeah, recent information is going to be the hardest information. It's going to be easier for you to hop over her and get to your grandparents or great grandparents. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's the problem with the recent information.
Yeah, and also remember this in when she's talking about recent history, these laws are set up now to break up these families big time with a lot of these laws where these kids are going to foster parents and all kind of things. So a lot of people are saying the same thing you're saying, sir. Like Lisa said, your grandparents are next. Like she said, hop over your mom and get to your grandparents and speak to them immediately. Speak to all your family. Start reconnecting with your families. Because all my family is saying, man, we gotta get back together. We can stop talking about it and do it. Lisa turned me on to a movie. I tell the movie Sounder. Check out The Land in that movie Sounder. It's a movie in about 1970. Many of the immigrants that you see weren't even here then. Check out The Land. And these are your people. Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, all over the place. Tennessee, Georgia, North, South Carolina, Virginia, Alabama, Mississippi. All that land is what most of you guys are directly connected to. And you turning your back on that to claim a place that you know nothing about. None of your ancestors never been there. You gotta get with your people, man. And we have been made to hate ourselves. Our brothers and sisters, yeah, of course, but the number one thing is to make you that don't even think that you're nothing. That's why you're called black. Because you're nothing. You try to take it and try to make it some word that it's not. And it always backfires. And you never get it and just never change. Be what you are. Be what your melanin is worth. You say it's $9 billion a gram, right? Then be that. What's going on with Sumter, Lisa? That's close. That's Sumter. You have what? Sumter, Alabama. You have a Sumter, Georgia. Sumter, South Carolina. So, when you study, this is just something to throw in, something to chew on when you're doing, your genealogy searches and stuff. You can tell this is a city by the lines and street carved in the city. But in older maps, those cities won't be there. The people who live there, what they did, how they lived, what they grew. You got to check out those areas. That's why we say check your families, get with your families. Where are you from? There's some things that you can do that was done in your people for hundreds of years, thousands of years. You have those same skills because they were passed to you. But when you act like you not those people, when you act like you something else, that leaves it open for other people to come swipe your land right from under you. And this is what these black supremacists are doing. You got to see this. You got to see this. All these cats coming telling you some bullshit, and you just go for it because they cool, they talk cool, they talk sweet, and nothing they say, and you can put me in front of any one of them. Nothing they say makes a bit of sense. It's to confuse you and pimp you out of your money, right or wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize, but I ain't. So what Sumter is this, Lisa? Where'd you go? You muted yourself.
Yeah, it's in Sumter, South Carolina, where Ellison was from. Mr. Ellison, Sir Ellison, you know. And you can see it's by the water, And this is the thing, there, there's more. They, they they want you to think that these people. Oh yeah, no, it's just this one Ellison and his kids. That's it, his sons. No more, no more. Don't look anymore. This is it. He's the only one, right? He's the only one. So what did his sons do? Marry white people? What did they marry white people, huh? What, come on now. Come on now. Make things make sense. There's more to Mr. Guy. He ain't the only Ellison. He ain't the only rich person. He's not the only. This thing is all over the country, but we have to look for it. We have to look. They're not going to tell you. They're going to tell you, don't look here. No, nothing to see. Nothing to see. Look over there. Look over there in Africa. That's where you need to be looking. They throwing rocks telling you, look over there. And you're looking. You're looking. Why? I don't know, but you are. We have to stop letting these overseers, tell us what we need to tell us, first of all, who we are, and tell us where to look. All of that. Who you are and where to look. You can't. You can't rightfully do either one. I'm sorry. You can't tell me who I am. You're just not gonna do that.
Also, not telling us who you are. You
Yeah,
know,
let's qualify who you are.
right.
People act like they don't gotta be qualified. Like, who are you? Okay.
Right.
I know who I am, but who are you? Who are you? So let me see if I can get this rectified because I can't see one. Oh, I think I can. Yeah. Um. All right. So I don't know what you're seeing. Let me see what you're seeing.
Like a newspaper clip.
Yeah. Okay. So this
Half
is
the
from
dude's
a.
face. Can you blow it up a little bit?
Let me try to do so. Let me see that. Where am I at? I'm here. Yeah, that better?
Yes, a little. Yes, it's better.
All right, so this is what. Oh, what is this? Some kind of Moorish person with a fez? Okay, look. So this person in the picture who looks like he's Asian or whatever, right? African American local person. He's doing Eastern Shore. He's doing okay. So this is what I had to deal with this afternoon because I haven't been feeling well, and then my daughter had posted some stuff, and I hadn't looked at it. And I'm glad I didn't look at it a couple days ago, and I really wasn't feeling well because I would have really lost it. But this is the battle of when you trying to be who you are and repatriate your people, and people try to come for you to try to dispute what you are by doing little things like this. So here's one of them. Let me show you. All right, so this dude is doing this. Let me see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see? Yeah, you got
Angola to ESVA to NC.
And ESVA is Eastern Shore, Virginia. That's where the Accomacs are from. Okay. So he's doing an Angola to Eastern Shore, Virginia to North Carolina, African American genealogy with local roots. Okay. With local roots. What does that mean? So he's not from Eastern Shore, but
Right.
he's trying to put, what is he trying to put on Front Street? Angola, right? The starting point is Angola. Okay. This is what, and so I saw this just like a few hours ago. I am fuming. I am fuming because I go to the Eastern Shore and deal with these white people when they do stuff that's fraudulent. All the, the last couple of months, I've been running back. Anyway, so they put this, now they putting the black supremacists out there for me. And like, check the dude out. I mean, no, I mean, come on. Let me show you this. Where is it at? Okay. So this dude, let's I mean, I'm just gonna let you take a look at him. All right. Let me breathe. All right. All right. A little bigger. A little bit. That's too big, brother. That's big enough. All right. Where's the? All right. Here you go. All right. So with this thing, I guess you can see him now. Tyrone Goodwin. Now, I mean, you can't really tell what he is, right?
He don't look African.
No, he definitely doesn't look African. But here's a picture of a bunch of Africans with daggone look like Moors, like fezzes, and I don't even know. That's what he's got for a picture, okay? Mr. Goodwin will present the genealogical history and journey of his own ancestor, Gabriel Jacobs. Oh, he's a Jacobs. So look, oh, this is, I didn't even notice that. Y'all getting some live shit from me right now. Excuse me. Cause see, oh, he's a Jacobs. Oh, I have, and he looks like the other dude. I have a white Accomac, one of the first Accamacs to enroll, really. And he's from Canada. And he had all his genealogy done. He sent a whole freaking packet. He was looking for us, right? Because in Canada, there's a lot of benefits that go with being indigenous, right? So he wanted to get his status, taken care of and stuff. And so, like, he was the first one to enroll, got his, he has his ID card and stuff, and got his, affidavit and everything. So anyway, this white dude, I mean, so this is, so okay, let me tell you the story. So the white dude contacted me through another chief. There's a Anahanik tribe, right? And so the Anahanik chief was like, here, I got this stack of this big old whatever, just a big old envelope of genealogy this guy had compiled. And he was like, I guess he thought he was looking for his tribe, right? Looking for his tribe. Went to the Akahanic. They were like, nah, no bueno. And so then they, the Akahanic historian gave it to me, right? And I was like, okay, he's a Jacobs that was Accomac, and they went down to North Carolina, and then they actually went to Detroit or something. Then they went up to Canada, right? And yeah, he had the documentation, right? And so, bruh, the white dude, I was like, look, I want you to understand this. Like the Accomacs are Negroid. Do you get that? Like, we're not, we're not Siberian. We're not, from the, we're not that. We've always been Negroid. We are Negroid Indians. Are you aware of this? And he says, yeah. I said, well, okay. I said, well, if you are very clear that your ancestor was a Negroid in appearance woman who was indigenous Accomac Indian, then welcome to the fold, bro. It's cool, right? So now, right, live with y'all, I'm seeing that this Goodwin is a Jacobs. Who he's saying became free in the 1700s. People don't become just free in the 1700s. Yeah, there are manumission papers, but there's very few manumission papers on the Eastern Shore. They was free. They was free Indians. They was free people. And our slavery was like most slavery, or just about most slavery. There are chattel slaves. There are people who were like forever slaves, born into it, or like from parents or whatever, passed on in this. It's like being in the system, like being in any system. You kind of get born into a system of servitude. That happens, of course. And then that happened, okay? But the reality is, we were free Indians, okay? And it was indentureship going on. And slavery happened because you got caught up in the system of perpetual servitude in the early. Mm-hmm.
So what is this guy trying to do?
So this guy is saying that he's a Jacobs and his family were descendants who became free in the early. So he's lied about his people. See, this is the thing. He don't have no evidence that they were slaves, but he's saying they were slaves and that they became free. He found them free in the 1700s, and he's still trying to lie and say that they were slaves. That's just like that article I'm telling you. These black supremacists, they support the white supremacist agenda. Why do they do this? They're getting paid. They're getting pats on the back. What is this about? Why? He's probably related to that Black Panther damn Dr. Carter, because he's all down with the white supremacy. He's a major black supremacist. That's probably what this is from. No, he's not a $5. No, this I don't know who his people married into or what his story is. This is a man, I have no idea who he is. I don't know what his genealogy is, or except that in this thing that was on Facebook, he's doing a genealogy presentation that's free at the library where my Accomack Indians are from. And he is claiming that the people on the Eastern Shore, by virtue of the title of his presentation, which I'll roll back to it, by virtue of the title of his presentation, this dude is saying that Angola to Eastern Shore to North Carolina. He's saying that his genealogy is starting in Angola. He's claiming that the Eastern Shore people go from Angola to the Eastern Shore. We ain't got no Africans tripping all through the Eastern Shore. That's not our story, okay? There are no Africans. None. We are the people. The only thing we got are these good-for-nothing, daggone, black Europeans. We don't have, any evidence of Africans, tiptoeing through the Eastern Shore. That is not a fact, okay? And Angola did not exist at that time. It was not even by that name at that time. Did not exist. So what he's doing a live virtual presentation at the local library in Northampton Free Library, okay, on this Saturday, okay? And it's problematic to me and to my people. And yeah, he may be related to the people. If he's a Jacobs, he's related to the Accomacs. I don't know what else, other things are in his genealogy. But if he has an ancestor that's a Jacobs, that's an Accomack Indian. And it ain't no damn African. And just by virtue of my white Jacobs, who's already enrolled, you dumb Negro, okay? You dumb Negro, your Jacobs ancestor is an Indian, and I already got a Jacobs that actually went from Eastern Shore to North Carolina already enrolled, and he's white, and he knows that he ain't from Africa. So why are you claiming that the Jacobs were from Africa? You jerk. I can't take it. I cannot take this. This is what I have to deal with. Okay, so, this nigga. So anyway, I found this man. I found him on Facebook. Y'all. Found this Tyrone Goodwin. And why he's probably being supported by these white folks to do it, because they're trying to it's genocide. When I have a lawsuit based on my family history being Accomack Indians, and then you got niggas going around saying Angola, African American, it's genocide against me, my people, my ancestors, and it actually is destroying what I'm doing. It is actually decimating my ancestors. And he's actually disrespecting his own ancestor. Clearly, Jacobs is an Indian. Let me tell y'all, this is so fucked up. And I can't believe that I saw this on this live with y'all, that he's a Jacobs. Jacobs is such an Indian. Let me break this down to y'all. A white Indian man, a white man from the Anahanics, is how I got introduced to the Jacob line, the Jacob family. He knew this guy had his genealogy that connected him to being a Jacobs, Genghis-Khan, Accomack Indian, or whatever. He passed it on to me. The white man from the other, $5 Indian tribe or whatever, in Maryland, he gave me that Jacob information from from my other Accomack kin folk that I have with Accomack who enrolled. That's in Canada, my Canadian Accomac, okay? So it is very clear that Jacob is not from Angola, not only by virtue of another Indian nation that is recognized in Maryland, but also by virtue of the fact that the person himself that is a Jacobs is in Canada, and he did his research, and he actually is working on his PhD in American. I think it's in Native American study. I think it's Indigenous American or whatever, Native American studies or so. He's a school teacher. So the person that said, I know this is Jacobs, that is an Accomac, he is a school teacher. He's a teacher working on his PhD, and he knows his genealogy, and he found his Indian ancestor being a Jacobs. And this fake genealogist is going to try to tell you that Jacobs is an African American genealogy coming from Angola. That's how bad the black supremacists want to take you off your land. That's how bad they're working to make you a foreigner. Two white people I know that Jacobs are Accomac Indians. This one Negro wants to refute all that and do a genealogy session to try to prove that. Oh my God, I may have to take off work and fly up there. Oh my God, I just can't take it. He's a Jacobs. Okay. Shit. All right. This guy's a Jacobs, just like my kinfolk who's in my Accomac kinfolk who's in Canada. This guy even made us our I just can't take people. This is how far they will go. They don't want you to know the truth. And they are helping these greedy global landowners to keep your inheritance away from you. That's what this quasi Negroid man is willing to do. He's willing to lie about his ancestor, change his ancestor to somebody else, commit genocide against his own people, erase himself for this agenda for the globalist supremacists. So these wealthy, old, evil, greedy people can keep their land, both white and black supremacists, because they stole your land. A lot of them stole your land too. They claiming to be you and stole your land. So they're in it together to put you off to Angola. Don't look over here. Look over there. Don't look here. And this man is a Jacobs. This is even more devastating to me because I know Jacob. I know that surname. I know it. And I know two people, both the ancestor of the Jacob and the tribal leader from another tribe, verified Jacob is an Accomac Indian. And this daggone one idiot is trying to refute it in public at a library, making it look like it's legitimate information. Y'all know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to contact the library about this. I contacted him already. But now that I know he's a Jacob, he's gone way too far. He is definitely he's committing genocide against his own damn self. Like he's erasing himself. Y'all know. I don't even. I'm gonna have to calm down. I don't even know. I don't know what to do. I contacted him, and I found him on Facebook. I'm gonna let you see what I kind of said a little bit. I'll give you a peek. But yeah, no, this is not cool, man. It's just it's not cool, man. It's not cool. All right. All right. So I let him know. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Where you at? All right. So I let him know I was on Messenger I'm on Messenger that you're making a claim, making such a claim about the Accomack Indians. I said, let me see, get back to it. I said it's about of Virginia. Make a claim to be. You are making a claim to be a genealogist and stating that the Eastern Shore Negras are from Angola. And so I said, making such a claim. I don't know if I just got to it. Making such a claim. I think I might cut the. Well, I said something about continuing. I said, well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me see. Well, let me go to it. Well, I said a lot of things, but I said that, first of all, Angola didn't exist in 1600 or 1700. I said also, no slave ships were on the shores of Virginia. There is information from the governor of Virginia who stated he wrote Negro ship, and he said the fact the slaves who were traded into the world were American Negro Indians, not Africans. He said there were no ships on these shores at that time, and that had not happened. So for them to sit up there and talk about all the 1619 is nonsense. In addition to that, it was during the starving time. Like, come on now. Let's be real. Then the other thing was, I told him the Eastern Shore Indians are brown skinned with black gross thick hair, big broad noses and big lips as described by William Strachey. And then of course I cited William Strachey, which I always cite William Strachey. That's what's up. William Strachey is what's up. Okay. Let's see if I can get that on the screen. Yeah, I always cite William Strachey, and the hair being hair is black, gross, long. And the most important thing is the big lips. Oh, I forgot about the color brown. But that's in there. He's got the article. If he blows it up, he's going to see color brown in there. He's going to see their hair is black, gross, long, and thick. He's going to see all that if he blows it up. So he's got that. I said that to him. And then also, I said the information about 1619 being false. Quotes about changing the Negro to African, and really it was Negras because they were mostly females and they were Christianized. So I sent that to him as well. We got, this is a thing. And so I said that to him. I verified it was him, of course. I said, are you the person that's doing it? I just did I didn't know. I do know it's him. So at least, I went not completely out of pocket, but I did go ham on his butt. I went ham on him, but I think I'm going to have to go ham on the library people because and you know what? That's what I need to do. Because you know what? They're not allowed to do that. Like, seriously, if you're going to do something about the Eastern Shore people that are of color, you need to talk. They need to run that by me because we are the indigenous people, and these white folks don't need to be letting any of these damn fraudulent Negroes come in here and teach things that are fucking false. Like, you can't do it. I gotta calm down and deal with it in a better manner, hopefully by tomorrow. I don't know. But I definitely need to get that library, the people that's running the library in check. And I just thought of that while I'm on this live with you guys, okay? Just thinking of it right now, what I need to do, because this is some bull crap. I said he claimed to be a daggone genealogist. We looked him up. He's really an IT person, okay? And then he says on his daggone LinkedIn that he's freaking been a genealogist since 2020. This is some bull crap, y'all. It's all bull crap. I call him a black supremacist overseer. I tell him he's trying to refute the true identity of our people. That's genocide. This is what I said. Okay, hold on. Let me get that. I said, this is what I said. You're a black supremacist overseer being encouraged by white supremacists to refute the true history and genealogy facts of indigenous Accomacs with this out of Angola genocide. And I said that he's assisting them to steal our land. I said, here I go. I said, you're assisting them to keep stolen land. I said, if 1619 was true, my ancestors would not be Accomacs in the court records fighting for land in 1640. We are on record in the courts fighting for our land in 1640. 1619 ain't true. And I would not have my current lawsuit because my lawsuit is based upon those Indians in that fight. And I said, cease and desist. I will file charges. I said, cease and desist. I will file a lawsuit. Cease and desist. I will file charges against you if you continue to use fictitious information against the Eastern Shore indigenous Indians. There are no African slave histories on the Eastern Shore. We are indigenous. Whew. Lord, child. This is just, yep. We are indigenous. We could settle this in court. I said, we are indigenous Indians. We could settle this in court. Yes, indeed. That's what I said. I said it. Yes, I said it.
Imagine how many stories like that are out there.
People, half of these people that listen to these, they're on these daggone broadcasts, listen to all these different YouTubers, got people all over the place with all kinds of history and inheritances, land, resources, gold, coal, iron, lithium, all kinds of stuff you got, okay, in this country that you don't know about because you're listening to these dumb black supremacists trying to do genealogy and offer you another answer that puts you off the trail. They are like, yeah, go this way. Yeah, I saw them. It's the way to go. They're trying to get you off your path on purpose. And the real messed up thing that I just found out, he's definitely Accomac. I got 2 white people to co-sign on that, since we don't trust our indigenous selves. So I don't understand how you're going to come on and try to mislead all these people. Because see, the people that are going to come to this presentation are Accomac Indians looking for answers. And he's giving them lies. Oh my God, I guess I have to go. I am not going to be able to. Child, I just don't be. Ugh. Wow. I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm gonna have to work this out. I mean, I know it's a live, it's a virtual, so there is a feed thing. I am gonna send, a couple of my people there. I'm gonna try to get Thomas to go as well, but I don't know, man. I need. This is what they do. This is bad. This is bad. And then I think, well, you know what? I really need to go because the real people that are interested in genealogy and our Accomacs are going to show up there. So y'all know I'm probably going to end up going because, whatever. Money is one thing, but this is more important. Yep.
Is this one of the reasons why it's really important for us to stop all the negativity we have to each other? Because it makes our numbers spread out more. It makes us not even really matter when we're always jumping down each other's throats. Why things like this are happening all around.
Are Caucasian people welcome here? Well, I wouldn't say Caucasian people aren't welcome here, but I would be curious as to what your interest is in the conversation. That's interesting, UNC. Why are you interested in the conversation? And if you want to talk, you can come on our StreamYard. You can come on and talk to us. We got this. There it is, right there for you. If you would like to jump on and have a conversation, you can get in the conversation. We welcome you. You are welcome to hop on board. Join the conversation. But I tell you, yeah, Keith, I may have to just show up because, this is what you do. I mean, like, it is a lot of work and it is a lot of things alone. And there are certain things because you've done so much of the research and you know so much of the details because you have repatriated your people, you know the history and you have the answers. And then I've done the lawsuit. So my research has been even more extensive, right? So, so to speak to this, there's nobody who can outspeak me on this. So for me to miss out on, see, this is the only thing I worry about is that they might close my mic or I can't talk if I'm online. That's a problem. I could always call one of my people and have them put me on speakerphone or something like that. I don't know. But see, then everybody doesn't have good reception out there because I know a couple of my people, they don't have good reception. They don't have good service. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm talking through this stuff while I'm on this live. It's kind of crazy. I'm just trying to figure it out.
UNC, why don't you just come on the program and,
What are you talking about? This is UNC. Sounds like you're just blaming people for my shortcomings. You don't know, you don't know what the conversation is, but then you're gonna tell me. That just makes you sound like an idiot. What's the conversation? Sounds like it can't sound like anything if you don't even know what the conversation is. And if you don't know what the conversation, you know nothing. You can't even say that I'm blaming people for my shortcomings. I'm not blaming people for any. I'm really not blaming people for anything. This is not a blaming situation. I'm having a conversation about the fact that there are people who are educating and miseducating people with lies and misrepresenting people and misdirecting people on purpose because there are greedy people who are living on stolen land and they want to keep it that way. That's the conversation.
Do you understand that, UNC? Do you understand that that's going on?
He doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand that. That's okay, because he doesn't have to understand it. He doesn't need to understand it. And it's very, and I find it very interesting that I don't know what is it. Is it some kind of affliction that, you make it like it's important for you to insert yourself into places and spaces that aren't about you? Like maybe you want it to be about you and that's why you insert yourself into spaces and places that aren't about you? Not about you. It's about being indigenous to this place. And if you happen to be white and happen to have Negro Indian roots, then it's about you. But I have a Caucasian that's an Accomack Indian. I have Caucasians that are Accomack Indian. They are my kinfolk. So what does that have to do? Why are you hopping in? Why is he hopping in this live? He doesn't know anything about this program.
It's a bot.
Get him out of here. You're it's not public if you don't know what you're talking about. Why are you just popping on and inserting yourself in the conversation? Now, a polite person would just sit and listen. But you want to come into a forum and then insert yourself and make yourself important and derail the conversation. Get him out. Remove him. Let's get him out of here. Just a real idiot. He's an idiot. Yeah. See,
I'm only asking. I'm just asking. I mean,
the reality is this. I'm not going to be derailed by somebody who's an idiot and who really doesn't, he just wants to be an irritant, right? And the reality is this. Yeah, right. So exactly, a troll. But the reality is this, that's what we got. People we have to combat. There's a lot of forces. So many forces are working to keep the indigenous people of America confused, misguided, and oppressed, because the entire planet feeds off of us. They are wealthy because of us. England was in a toilet financially. Spain was in the toilet. The entire planet was broke, starving, and ignorant before they came in contact with us. Let me say that one more time. The entire planet was broke. They were broke. Right? They didn't have anything. They were broke. They were disease-ridden. And they were ignorant before they came in contact with us. We taught them that they need to wash instead of throwing powder and perfumes over themselves and wearing wigs over their infested hair. Parasite hair eating off their heads. Wig wearing powdered wigs and makeup to cover up the infestations. And then we were like, why are you not washing? We bathe before meals, and come on now. And we keep innovating for the entire planet. We keep inspiring the entire planet. And they keep us depressed, oppressed, confused, and keep trying to keep us off the actual knowledge of where we belong, who we are, and the truth about our origin and history. Because they don't want to have to go back where they came from, and they don't want to have to get off the land that they stole. And that's the bottom line. Everybody who's winning by us being ignorant and out of our daggone natural homeland is about trying to keep it that way. So you see this person trying to do this library presentation in Northampton, Virginia, is doing it so he can help those landowners and his own people who are black supremacists keep what they've stolen. He wants to make sure that the people of the Eastern, come on, y'all. The other day, Trevante was on here. He gave a great presentation talking about how he learned he was an Accomack Indian. He knew he was an Accomack Indian. He knows about his history. And a lot of people are probably thinking, wow, Trevante was a pro football player and he knows he's Accomack Indian. And they know on the Eastern Shore that people are starting to wake up to their actual identity. And our genealogy on the Eastern Shore is the richest and most daggone extensive there is, because we got the oldest continuous court records in the nation, starting in 1632. So this Negro who's a genealogist is an idiot. He's up there trying to talk about Angola to the Eastern Shore to North Carolina, when the ancestor that he's talking about that's from the Eastern Shore is verified to be a daggone Accomack Indian. And there ain't no Angola in that history. And there's two white daggone chiefs who can co-sign. There's one white chief and one white daggone Accomack, daggone Indian who can verify this. A white Accomack Indian can verify the Jacobs, and he knows that his female ancestor, who is a Jacobs, is a Negro Indian. He knows that. The white brother knows it. My white brother knows it. Greetings, Pony Locks. Good to see you. Where you been? And so now this guy is gonna come on to the Eastern Shore and take a hold of the people that are interested in their history and genealogy and push them to daggone Africa while he presents himself as a Jacob, which a Jacob is not a friggin' African at all. And I can prove that. Well, I can prove everything that I say. But my God, you're a Jacob? I wish to God he was something else that would make him credible, but he is nothing credible. You know what? You know what, y'all, what I might do? Because I'm really very emotional about this. I actually may contact my Accomack Dessa Jacobs and have him with his white voice call the white librarian and handle this. Maybe he's the one who needs to tell them that this needs to not occur. Because if I do it, it's going to come off like an angry black female or something. I'm going to come off with that daggone mystique. Because I am going to come off like a raging engine. And maybe he needs to come. Maybe I need to have him speak to her as long as maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know if I can. I know he works, he teaches. Anyway, I'm trying to think this out. But anyway, I know that the library needs to be put on notice on this because this is completely fraudulent. Like, how is he saying that he's doing genealogy from Angola and his ancestor that he's even mentioning in the title is not from Angola? This is how deep they go to daggone direct you back to Africa. They don't even respect their own people. They don't even respect their own ancestors. That's how hard they'll work to daggone keep others confused. And then this is the thing. Being your indigenous selves is the empowerment that is going to change the future for future generations. Because they can't treat you like the daggone dirt African Americans are treated like. They can't push around your indigenous self. They don't have jurisdiction over your indigenous self. But that's why they want you to be a daggone Pan-African or some kind of mixed bag of tricks. Anything but your true identity. Anything.
And the black supremacists, well, what would you say to the people when they run across a black supremacist?
You need to anybody, but they need to be checked. When you come across a black supremacist, you need to check them right where they're standing, in person, online, wherever you should encounter them. These black supremacists need to be known. First of all, you need to expose them. I know what you're doing. You're trying to commit genocide because you're trying to deny me being who I am. I am who I am. And you're trying to erase me with your lies. And I won't stand for that. You will not commit genocide against my people, and you will not erase me and make me into something else that doesn't even exist. That doesn't even exist. You do not have the right to define who I am or to tell me who I am. This is what's so crazy, y'all. They letting children decide, I don't feel like a boy, you know? They letting children decide, oh, I don't think I feel like a boy. But yet, if you say, I am an Accomack Indian, oh, no, you're not. We're sending you to Angola. What? A child has a right to tell you that he ain't a boy. He feels like a girl or it or a shem or whatever he wants to be. But if I tell you my genealogy and my history proves and my bloodline proves I'm an Accomack Indian, oh no, you're definitely from Angola.
So that's done. So everybody will be clear. Why is that done?
That is done for the land, man. See, you don't understand how much has been stolen from you. That's why you don't understand why they're doing this, why they're trying to kill us all the time, why there is a constant wage of war against you being who you are. See, what would make this brother that I showed y'all, well, I showed the people this brother that is doing you know, I don't know if I want to show it again. But anyway, what would make, yeah, you think I should put it up again? No. Anyway, so what would make somebody go so far as to put up a educational genealogy session that tells a community that they're from Angola when your own ancestor that you are going to be talking about is not it has no evidence of being from Angola. As a matter of fact, all evidence points to them being an Indian. What would make somebody do that? What would make you make that so much of a gigantic lie that you're lying against yourself? You're lying against your own identity. You're lying against your own ancestor. Because the globalists, the people that control this country, not this country, but the entire planet, want you to be off this land. They don't want you to be able to claim it as your homeland because America is the richest nation there is. We just don't know it. They don't even show it. But they can look beyond the damn dirt and tell you what's underneath all this in this planet, and it's a lot. They haven't even scratched the surface of what's in this in America. And if you find out that you actually own it, that's a problem. Also, if you find out that you're actually indigenous and say, wait a minute, I am the original people, I'm the landlord, you can't tell me what to do, U.S. corporation, that's problematic too. And as a matter of fact, give me all that tax money that I paid into it. And also give me all that money you owe me for all the damages against me. And also give me all my land back and my resources. And also I need free education for everybody for the end of time. And I need to, yeah, that's when the real reparations could begin. But you not knowing who you are, you can't even begin the process. And they are compensating these black supremacists. They must be compensating them in a way they feel very satisfied to lie against themselves and lie against their ancestors.
Well, there are some cracks that are now being seen in the black supremacists because a lot of you have a lot of people now coming into the realization of what's going on. And they're being confronted a lot. And there's a whole bunch of internal strife. An example, the football player we interviewed the other night.
The Accomack Indian football player.
Mm-hmm. You know how many football players listen to that? And can pick up something from it? Because everybody knows something's up. Everybody knows something's different. Something's amiss. That don't sound right. Like you said, they thinking. Because that old way, amen, thinking that shit don't work. You see, that church shit is gone. You know, it's still got this few hanging on, but now people are starting to read it, starting to question it. And seriously, in the past 10 years, I've seen a tremendous growth.
You're right.
Just people
You're,
ask,
you,
just
you
people
would know because you've been teaching and preaching this for an extremely long time.
I'm just doing my part.
You doing all that. You are everything, and it's so wonderful because it's helped so many people. I mean, it's amazing, and the wealth of information that you put out there, and the body of daggone information is just like it's outstanding. It's outstanding.
Well, you know, I get to hang out with people like you, Tavante, get to speak to people who, you know, thinking on a different vibration, you know, looking at the looking at things kind of the same way I'm looking at them, you know. Not, I mean, because hey, there's still, it's more than 50% of people who are still walking around here don't have a clue and don't give a damn. Will fight you explaining some dumb shit they can't even explain.
Right.
That's where it starts to look stupid.
Right.
You're explaining something, but you can't explain it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like asking a gay guy, you rather have men over women? Uh, you know, where's the logic in that? You know, serious.
I
You know,
know it
if you
is.
were if somebody created you, your mom and dad, his grandmama, her grandmama, all of that went into you, isn't it predicated among you to do the same thing?
Well, yeah, it's you're free to choose what you want to do as far as if you want to fuck a dog or I mean, I'm sorry, excuse me. But I mean, you can bestiality is legal in Canada and many nations. It's legal in Georgia. I don't know about all the every state, but anyway, I know that they allow everything is allowed. But you say you are indigenous to America and people want to fight you?
Well, it's like you said, you're not supposed to know nothing.
You got records, you got daggone birth certificates, death certificate, marriage records, you got court documents, but they want to fight you. They want to fight you and they want to go against you for saying that no, we've always been here. We're not from Angola. And Angola didn't exist then, dummy. It did not exist. In fact, most of Africa wasn't even explored until after us. They didn't even really dip their fit. That's why you see, like in the 1900s, the Queen of England and people going out. They just started going to Africa around the 1900s, naming places and defining places. No, these damn places didn't even have names. They didn't have names. They named it by the people that they encountered. Fulani, Congo. You know,
What do people call themselves? And like you said, that was the name of the place. And that's something that we skip out on because we are always calling ourselves something that somebody else told us.
but they're
And
always telling us something different.
well,
And they weren't telling us really anything but giving us these daggone titles like colored crayons, black and Negro and colored. And then they realized, oh, these folks are starting to go and research and stuff. Well, we better give them a story. So they started making up stories for us that lead us out of America because they don't want us staying in America and figuring out that our home is America. So they had to direct us away from America. Or you were imported. That's how you got here. You were imported. My parents, okay, I don't know how many. My parents were born. My mom was born in 1932. My dad was born in 1927. They were never taught in school about any slaves coming from Africa. They were never taught about that.
That's how you
And,
know it's new.
and I would ask you guys to ask the people that you have in your family that were born before maybe 1940, 19, before 1940, what they know, what they were taught in school. Because when I went to school, it was in 19 whatever 70 some. It was the first thing I one of the first things I learned. I remember learning in school. It was about slavery.
And remember, they teach generations different things to, kind of make bigger, build a bigger crack, separating, teaching you African, teaching your mother she's black, teaching your grandmother she's Negro, they
Right,
keep, breaking it up like that.
right. And
Basically,
yep, yep,
just follow that bloodline, baby. Lead you to right where you need to go.
it'll do it. Pony locks, yeah, it is a direct aim toward, but that's what they do. It's like I can't even go like a couple of months. Like it's like every month or every other month. They took a break for Christmas, and either it's a white, mostly it has been white people, but this is the, and every once every well, like it was black, white, black. So I don't know, maybe it'll be white next. But they it's like one after another. They take shots at our at the Accomack Indians, and try to chip away at our inheritance, our identity, or whatever, distract from it, detract from it. That's what they do. But yeah, that's what he's doing. He's doing that. That's why this is being done. That's why they got together and figured out. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll make her look crazy, and we'll talk about the indigenous people, because really they don't. What they really don't want are more people rallying around being Accomack Indian, right? And they want to stop the flow of that and stop people from actually acknowledging their that they are Accomack Indians, and that's what he's there for. Oh, they said Africa was Asia Minor. Yeah, I heard of that too. Asia Minor. Well, it's Asia Minor today too, with with China buying it all up. So yeah, it's Asia Minor once again. What was will become what it was. What used to be will become what it is again today, and people are gonna return back where they need to go back. And our homeland will be returned to us, and because it needs to heal. And the only way that our homeland is going to be healed is by people who will let it heal, possessing it again. Because everything that has been done to it has been to just pollute it. Everything that's been done is to make things artificial. Nothing natural. They want to work against instead of with the planet. And then the skills that our ancestors had, they passed on to the local people of any color. We help anybody. That's the way we are. Indigenous people share and give to anybody, okay? But then they turn around and act like they're the experts over us. We know that happens every time. If you work a job, it's true. You train somebody, and by day 3, they act like they daggone taught it to you. I tell you.
Well, don't be so sad. You're bringing a lot of shining a lot of light on some things that has been in the dark for so long. You shining a lot of light on it.
We need to understand that, thank you. People will take things that are clear as a day, clear as crystal, and they will make it murky and convoluted to suit what they want you to see. Just like with this thing that I had presented about Mr. Ellis, All right. Mr. Ellis, I'm showing the inside of it, but it's actually about, it's from this website, probably started by Black supremacists, about reparations, Black slave owner and breeder in South Carolina, the story of William Ellis. I don't know why they say he was a light-skinned man. This is very strange. Why is it a quote? Why is the quote not completed either? The quote just is on the he, but then where's the end of the quote? I don't see the. Is this the end of the quote? Oh, it's at the end. The whole thing's a quote. Oh, it's by their founding contributor. Well, their founding contributor is full of crap. Okay. So anyway, their founding contributor wrote this thing up, and it's horrific, right? In 1806, he began an exceptional 14-year apprentice. It's a joke. There is no way anybody could have done these things that they put down that William Ellison did, and as a slave. If he was that talented, nobody would let him free. It would take him another 10, 20, another 20 years to earn money to get him and his family free, because he would cost so much, and his family would be so valuable because he's so skilled. He was an apprentice of the craft of gin making. The man was a blacksmith. He was a machinist, a carpenter. He could read, write, and do arithmetic. Come on now. Yeah, you gonna let somebody like that buy your freedom? Man, he had to make a whole lot of money to buy himself free with all the skills he had. That is a bald-faced lie. It makes no friggin' natural sense. None. And this gentleman is a black supremacist or somebody who's just very misguided. But I would think he's a black supremacist who is misguiding and misleading people on the road to reparations. Like you're going to get reparations by lying about your ancestors, lying about the daggone history. That's how this conversation started. And that's how we can sum it up. It's very important that we realize that so many people are trying very, very hard to write and rewrite history. And the way this conversation started tonight, where we were talking about Emancipation, the movie, about with that dumb Will guy who's a cuckold. Okay, cuckold. They call it cuckold, right? He's a cuckold. William Smith. Anyway, William Smith did the movie, the Emancipation movie, and we were having a discussion that the movie was booted out of the theaters because nobody wants to see some scraping and bowing apprentice movie. Then we don't want to see no more slave renditions. We don't want to see anybody looking all stressed and worn out. Ugh. When we know in reality, in 1860s, we had several universities already going on. Several HBCUs were in existence in 1860. 5, in fact, at least three were being erected during that time. At least 3.
So, what do you think is going to take for people to see that? Because obviously, they're not going to be taught these in these black supremacist schools or by these Boule, Greeks, those type people. They're always going to keep your head looking overseas somewhere. What is it going to take? Do you think the information that's being put out, not just by the few of us that are doing it, but just information, period, is that washing into the people's minds?
Yeah, I think by us talking about it, I think it definitely is getting people aware of what is happening, what was happening. That is a definite wake up call for folks, I feel. But let me just kind of let people do what we did it. We did it before, but a lot of people just, I don't know why, but people don't watch or watch different times. I'm not sure, but Let me just kind of share this with you guys, because in case you didn't catch it when we did it before, because we had a whole build with this. No, I don't want to go that big. Maybe that big. No. Okay. So if you look at the HBCUs, you see the first one was Cheney State. Okay. Look at by emancipation. Emancipation, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there's a 12th one. 12. There 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and 10 by 16, 1865. 1866, you got two more. That means they were being started. Look how many were being started during 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 during emancipation. Right during that time, you got five universities starting. Tell me that makes sense. That emancipation was emancipation. You were just being freed then? You? Not the white folks? You? No. That makes no sense. Look at 1866. Look at that. Look at that many. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in 1867. You believe in emancipation now? Do you believe in the Civil War? This alone should make you say, I don't believe in none of that. I don't believe it. This alone should make you say, I don't believe in the Civil War, what they told me about it, because look at all what was going on. Look what all these people were in college. And look at all these colleges being erected right during Civil War. Look at all this. That's like during the time 1, 2, all during it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 during it, and 9 after it. You believe in the Civil War now? You believe in emancipation? If you believe in that stuff, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Because the facts cannot stand up to this. The facts refute emancipation is the Civil War as we were told it, just by looking at the HBCUs. Period. You don't gotta look at nothing else. Now we don't, and if we were to research Black businesses and blacks, and not blacks, but indigenous people in businesses and indigenous people in government and indigenous people in that were owning land, then it really would knock you out of the park. It would knock all this out of the park, because the major and landowners was us. South Carolina is not an exception, neither is the Eastern Shore. They act like that one story about Ellison in South Carolina is an anomaly. It's not. It is the truth. It's what was happening all over our lands here on the eastern seaboard of America. We were the landowners, we were the innovators, we were the business owners. We fell off. You see us now, you look in the mirror, this is falling off. We've fallen off because we were doing it. We were winning. We were doing it. So emancipation is a lie. It's a fraud. It's a fraud.
Just like the people who play in it.
Just like the cuckold people who play in it, who wasn't even cuckold. That whole story, everything's crazy because their whole relationship is a fraud. It's everything. Everybody's all faking it out, and half the things you can't even believe what you're seeing, and they're misrepresenting everything.
Everything.
But everything needs to be called out. Cease and desist with your lies. Cease and desist. Do you know this is abuse against us? This is abusive. Just the lies and the misrepresentation alone. It is traumatic and abusive to be made to think that you are not who you are and that your home and land is not yours. That is extreme.
And now they don't have to say it no more. You say it.
Mm-hmm.
You're adamant about it.
Right.
Those are fighting words to you.
We have to fight our own people on trying to help them to understand themselves.
And it's not really that hard to understand, really.
It's common sense. If you're going to look at this list and not be able to think, wait a minute, there's something they must have told us about this slavery thing, must have been a lie. Why did they even need to free us? Why did there need to be a civil war if all this was happening? All of this? We were doing all of this, and Wilberforce, most of these places were built by us. Beautiful buildings, beautiful campuses. Wilberforce, beautiful, built by us for us.
I think if you go look at some of those universities, not only did they build the universities, they made the bricks, they cut the lumber, all of that. But once somebody give you a history or make you believe in one of their fiction stories, make you think you're characters in their stories, it'll throw you so off. And it's not the people that when you tell them, because smart people get it. It makes sense. People who refute it and get mad, those are the overseers. And they speak to you in a way where you won't ask no questions. You would just, I just love him. He's so great. Pastor, just great. But you won't ask no questions about nothing. Start asking some questions. In all the areas of people activity, we have all these the teachers in the school, everybody, the so-called Black doctors and nurses. Are you just white folks spray painted black, like you like to call yourself? 200 hospitals at the turn of the century, none now? For real? We don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't see. We think, we're doing great now. We can, I got no. And maybe we, see, they give you snapshots of lies, and you believe them. You believe that in the past you ain't had nothing. You was just a slave, and we shall overcome, and all this stuff. They give you struggle history. Struggle slave history, and you believe it. And so by comparison, you think you're doing great. But when in reality, in retrospect, if you actually look at it, 200 hospitals at the turn of the century, majority of the daggone farmland owned by us, and all these inventions and all these universities, and you're trying to tell me we were doing bad and we were enslaved? Make it make sense.
And teaching you and your children that.
Make it make sense.
So you see a lot of these kids, they dropping out of school because, there's nothing for them. They get it. They get it early. but we haven't been there for them. Shouldn't we be building institutions that our kids can walk into and build something for the ones behind them? Shouldn't that be done? That's what all the immigrants coming over doing for the people they're bringing over. So, no, it's up to us. And all that crying, whining, and all that bullshit we doing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that shit's over. We look like damn fools. We look like the people who voted for Kamala Harris.
And now what did they do with that robot? She gone? Because ain't nobody seen her.
This is the stuff we do. And then it gets so bad, we look so much like assholes. We try to pretend like, oh, I didn't do it. And you did. You voted for Barack Obama. How's that going?
But in addition, what's really crazy is that what I really think about is the people that go to these HBCUs. All these daggone niggers that go to these colleges, universities, but you don't, oh, you proud. Nigga was the first degree grad in HBCU. Well, how come you didn't, the fact that they started in 1854 doesn't resonate with you that, well, how did they have a whole university granting degrees in 1854 if you was all in slavery? It was slavery times. I mean, I question all these people that go to these HBCUs and it doesn't evoke any kind of, how is it was started in 1837? Huh? 1856. 1851 in the District of Columbia. But you still think that slavery, everybody couldn't read and all we could do was menial jobs. We couldn't do no skill job. That's what the guy wrote in that article. Even though the person that he was writing about was a inventor, a machinist, a carpenter, a daggone a blacksmith, and could read, write, and do arithmetic. He gonna talk about he was a slave. He's going to say the man was a slave, doing all those things. And then we're gonna know that all these universities existed during slavery and still think slavery is that just as the white man told me, that's what I know. Well, you're a slave now. You're a slave right the hell now. Just what they told me, that's what I learned in school, that's what I know. Well, I went to a presentation and the speaker there, he was a very educated gentleman, and he said that the Eastern Shore people are from Angola. That's what I was taught. And he was reputable, a historian and a genealogist. Lies. He's not even, he freaking is an IT daggone professional. So yet he's going to go in the library, tell a bunch of local people that they're from Angola, and they're going to just go into the back to Africa pole where they came from, and stop even understanding that they're Accomack Indians, or even actually considering, well, Big Mama did say she was Indian. No, they're going to stop that, because the gentleman that was very well spoken and light skinned that was at the library by us. He said we're from Angola. I believe him. Because everything's about what you believe. I believe.
I know a little.
Okay. Well, I said I am sorry, y'all, that I kind of let my, hey, a lot. I thank you, because I wouldn't have looked at his the flyer that's on Facebook, and if you see that flyer on Facebook, I'm gonna post it and share it, and you're welcome you to comment on his post, because this is a mess. These people need to be stopped where they stand. Okay, this is this is problematic. You don't go to the Eastern Shore and tell people that they're from Angola when it's a lie. Okay, and even your own genealogy you're lying on. So I mean, I'm glad y'all let me vent. Let me get it out. Let me kind of think through it. I still got a lot to figure out about how I'm going to handle this going in the next couple of days. But that's the part of when you repatriate yourself, and when you're out there actually dealing with people who are trying to tell your people that you are trying to, educate, that there's something else trying to counteract what you're trying to do to set your people free, like really set your people free, like for real, for real. So anyway.
Well, Lisa, thank you for sharing with us tonight. And see, it's these kind of stories that really get us in to seeing what's going on, because what she's saying, what Lisa just shared with you tonight, that happened to many of your families, right?
Right.
Same thing. And so as long as we follow these black supremacist guys who just, I mean, you know them, they always dressing in somebody else's clothes. Always notice that about the Negro. He's always trying to dress like somebody else. Where's the African American style of dress? They wear stuff from other people. They wear shoes from other people. Always buying from the foreigners, but they never support you, or very small. So, these some things we can't let our kids chomp
Well, we
on
have
it.
to understand this is the fact that we don't support each other. That is something that is common now, but it wasn't common 60 years ago. So what we got to do is roll back, because the farther you roll back, you're gonna see that we was where we had it going on. Okay, we had it going on. We're slaves, and we're simps, and we're a bunch of daggone sheep now. But if you roll back 60 years, we were supporting each other. We were designing stuff. We were daggone buying each other stuff. We were helping each other get jobs. We were helping each other get through school. We were helping each other, supporting each other's businesses. We were. Why? Because we were, all this integration stuff hadn't made us act like, oh, I can do what I want to do. And all this other do me and all this dumb stuff that has made us not act as a unit. We work as a unit. We work together. That's how we win. All this dividing and conquering has to end. And that's what these daggone blacks up here, they come in and they divide up and they try to conquer us. But we need to fight it. We do support each other. We do feed in each other. We do try to build each other up. We do try, and please buy African Americans Ain't African. That is written by Carrie Davis. And let's change the banner real quick. Make sure you go to the website, purchase the book, and don't forget, hit him up on the Cash App. Hit him up in the Cash App. Support. This man's been doing this thing for over 15 years. This man's been putting in work every daggone day. He's out there grinding. He's talking to people. And not only that, he is majorly accessible. There's nobody who can say, oh yeah, I tried it. He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't know. He gives everybody his ear. He gives a listen to everybody. He's a fantastic listener. And he daggone gives people a chance to speak like myself. So, I mean, you got to be out here and show the love. You give money to dumb stuff. You buy dumb stuff all the time. You buy junk food. You get daggone cheap daggone things that you don't do anything with, but throw them in a drawer. But yet you can't hit his Cash App up. Hit his Cash App up. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Share it. And understand that in order for you to win in this, you got to be with the people that are the real critical thinkers, like Carrie Davis, the indigenous one. Thank you, Carrie. Good night.
Thank you. So listen, everything she's saying about her family and the Acamax, that's your family too. You know, the indigenous people, of course. I realize that we have people from all over in here listening. But like I say, go back and look at these older movies where you're in them and look at where you live. Look at the land you lived on. That land is still there. It's desperately overgrown, but it's still there. That's yours. And like Lisa's saying, we got to work together, man. No team ever makes it relying on one person. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. And like Lisa say, support us. African Americans ain't Africans. Get the book. I mean, definitely no. You can ask me questions on it. This stuff is right in your face. Do not let your children go out like this. Because remember, what goes around comes around, and it's going to come back around to you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later on in the week. You guys, peace out.